I think I'm just gonna start off this episode by introducing the topic, and it's just gonna be a life rant. I was thinking that it could be nice to update the people listening, if someone's listening, whether it's now in real time or if it's far ahead in the future. It's pretty cool to even just look back on reflections from the current moment, and maybe if I listen to this 3 years back, just hearing where I was at, what I was thinking about, what my goals were at the time, and yeah, just how my everyday life looks like. For some context, my everyday now looks pretty similar in the morning times. We meet at practice at 9 a.m. and then we have breakfast all together with the team. We have prep, which is basically getting the body ready for practice and making sure that we're all fit, that the injuries are being treated, that we go to the physio. All that is being done before the session starts. And then we train from about 11 a.m. until, I would say, about 12:30. So an hour and a half. Then after, there are a few days a week where we have lunch all together. And that means like a warm lunch, a proper made meal. And there are other days where we eat some more like simplistic bread, some juice, like basic stuff. But either way, it's very nice. It's a great way to start the day because I have this structure where I'm kind of forced to go to bed because I know I'm getting up early in the morning to go train. And some days there's also double sessions where I'll do practice early and then there's a lift, or maybe I do a lift earlier in the morning and then I do my practice. What's really interesting is that at my club where I play right now, Herefos Football, our head coach got fired yesterday. So things took a very drastic transition because we haven't started the season at the highest level, and we have unfortunately had too many losses for the club to accept. And yeah, it's a brutal business. Football is a very, very harsh and very real business in the way that if you don't deliver results, whether it's if that's in the head coach position or as a goalie, any position overall is just that you need to perform, you need to deliver results. If not, it's very straight up what's going to happen. You won't get playing time and you won't get prioritized. In some cases, you get fired and you're not even allowed to be in the club anymore. So it's brutal in that way. But I think the boys made really good effort today in today's practice to just keep our heads up, keep focus on what we can improve, what we can actually control and focus on forward. And that is what I see as the most important and crucial part here as well. Because there is always going to be times where things doesn't go as planned and maybe as good as you would have hoped for. And then maybe a change of strategy can be for the better. And yeah, the decision makers in the club made that decision. We as players, as employees in the club, basically, we need to stick together and just work with what we got and make the most of it. And that's our job, right? You can't sit around wishing things were different all the time. You just have to deal with the current circumstances and yeah, make the most of it. So that's something interesting that just happened. Otherwise, I just finished my first goalkeeper camp of the year. That was a superb event together with Martin Brennan, which is the owner and founder of the Nationals, which again is Europe's biggest goalkeeper events. We did a camp together with 24 participants. That the event was completely sold out. We had a 2-day event, 4 sessions, focusing on different themes like distribution, shot stopping, 1 versus 1, area control. We kind of covered all the areas of goalkeeping. And in between the sessions, we had the classroom sessions, which I found very successful for this year's events. The classroom sessions was more about the mental game, preparing them for what's going on in their life as well as on the pitch. Because you can always, to some extent, learn about technical aspects. You can learn about breaking down different decisions on the pitch. But maybe more important is the way you hold yourself outside of the pitch, your way of communicating, the way you approach new people, and, basic things such as a good handshake, looking people in the eye, introducing yourself, asking someone if they need help, if they look like they're struggling. Those are just like basic elements that we also teach in our goalkeeping camps. And I like that philosophy of approaching a camp with young children in the way that we don't just want to learn them goalkeeper skills, but we also want to learn them life skills, which eventually, when most of them at some point quit football, they will transition and still keep those life skills with them in any endeavor that they might choose in life. And I did see the impact from just 2 days of working with those 24 kids and really putting in all the effort I had during those days to make the best impact that I could. The transition and the difference in between them coming in and them leaving the camp was just ginormous, incredible. Some people went from not being able to raise their hand in the classroom and speak out loud in front of others, to actually contributing a lot, asking questions, being curious, helping others with raising their hands and pushing them forward to sort of help them step over the line of pushing through their fears. And others took major steps on the field with their basic techniques, their handling. They broke some mental barriers where they might have had a false belief about themselves, their capacity, their limits, where we actually step in and say, hey, you're capable of way more. It's so fascinating to see with kids when you train them. You tell them to do one thing, and they do the thing that you ask them. For example, lay down on the side, like you just pretend you made a save. And then I'm going to count to 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I say, yeah. And on my signal, you get up as fast as you can. That's the instructions. And we have some videotapes on this exact example. And it's so fascinating between the first time they get up fast and they get in position compared to number 2 and number 3, where we ask them, is that really all you could do? Is that 100% of your effort? 100% of what you have in here? Did you give it everything? And for 95% of them, the answer is no. And that just shows that we are working with a limit on ourselves most of the time. And we need someone external to hold us accountable and to actually remind us that that you're capable of more than what you're doing right now. And when you can look in the eyes of those kids and actually see the progress in real time in front of your eyes when you tell them, hey, you can do more. And if you believe it, then you will do it. And you make them believe. And after making them believe, you actually, you can see the shift. Man, I feel so passionate about this stuff, because when you see the change with your own eyes right in front of you, and not only the example of what we're doing right there, but you can tell that they just broke a mental barrier. They, their capacity increased in so many areas of life, because now they will ask themselves the question more often: did I do everything that I could? Did I put in 100% of my effort into this? I ask my girlfriend this a lot of the time as well, when she's unhappy with a certain result or a process, whatever that maybe she's prepping for an exam, and maybe she is a bit worried about the result. But then I remind her that, if and you always know yourself. If you put in 100% of the effort that is required to get what you want, if you don't get it, you can at least take pride in the process, in the progress, in the work you put in, because you know that you did your best. But if you didn't, then you also have to be real and honest with yourself and say that, hey, I could have done more. And maybe it's good that I feel a bit shamed, that I feel a bit unprideful right now, because then you dig deep into yourself and you know that there is more inside of you. And if you never had those conversations, you're never going to take the next step. That next step is always behind the barrier of you being truthful with yourself, or you being completely honest and saying, you know what, I could have done more. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell everyone else that, yeah, I did my absolute best. I did everything, but I still failed, because it's bullshit. Sometimes, yes, that might be the case, but then at least take pride in the process. But if it's not the case, like I told these kids as well, they know that they didn't do 100%. When we asked them to do everything they could, to begin with, they only work at maybe 80 to 90%. But then when you really push them, you can see what 100% looks like. And it's so different. It's so different. And I think that's a reminder for you listening to this as well. Be honest with yourself and look into your life right now. What is it that you can improve on massively by being transparent, honest, and just brutal with yourself, in the way that you know your life better than anyone else. You know what's true about yourself in your life. And sometimes you have to really dig deep, because we are so good at manipulating our own mind into believing things that are pure bullshit. So really dig deep. What are some, what would you call them? Like something that you call upon as a truth that you know is not working for you, but that's working against you. That really is just a bullshit story that you need to take accountability for and be honest with yourself about, and then actually make a radical change. Because those are the only ways that we can transform our life into something better. And I think if you're listening to this, you want to be better than you are right now. If you're not, and if you're just completely satisfied with where you are, I think this is the wrong podcast for you. Because I'm on a constant chase and a constant journey of improving myself, improving the way I speak, the way I hold myself, the way I treat others, the way I build relationships, the way I build businesses, the way I earn money, the way I play on the field. Everything is in my life is a journey towards progress, because progress for me equals happiness. And when I'm happy, I'm growing. And when I'm growing, I'm capable of giving. And I'm able to actually make an impact on other lives. And that only starts with growth. And growth starts with being honest. Honesty is maybe the biggest escalator towards your own growth. And someone like me, or someone like maybe your coach, maybe your parents, they can't always be there for you and hold your hand and tell you what to do. You have to take accountability for those things yourself. Be completely honest and say, that's not good enough. I'm capable of more. My standards are higher. And I get really passionate about this, because this is a huge part of my life. I'm constantly on the look for something better, for something to improve upon, something that's going to shift my life and gravitate me towards higher achievements, more satisfaction, more joy, more fulfillment, most of all. And that only comes from some brutal honesty sometimes. I could tell you with myself right now, the way I prioritize sleep has been shit. It's been bad. Because I know exactly what to do, but I'm not doing the thing that I know will benefit me the most. And that's just me being honest with myself. For you, it can be something completely different. But the one thing I know is that the only way I will make a shift and a change for that to be better is, first of all, to be honest with myself and say, I haven't done that good enough. And there's not really a strategy or tactic that needs to occur for me to be able to make this transformation and that sleep habit into, call it a more consistent, better habit for me. For me, it's more about not fucking bullshitting myself. I have a tendency as well to make a decision that it's okay right now to just sort of slack off a bit. And I do think there is some truth to that, because sometimes I feel really good about just like switching off completely. But I think for me, again, it's the way that I switch off that's kind of crucial. It's not that I can't go to bed late one night, or it's not that I can't drink alcohol sometime. It's not that I can't eat sugar and sort of sweets and or unhealthy food at times. It's in moderation, first of all. And second of all, it's just that when I do it, I can't do it 3 days in a row. I can't do it a week in a row. It's more that moderate it, do it once in a while. But then just don't be a, like for me, it's like don't be a dickhead about it and say, oh, now just because I did it once, I'm gonna just waste all my other opportunities to do well. That's when I sort of screw up. I guess my whole point with this is just to remind you listening that you can do much more than you are right now. You can be much more, you can do much more, you can impact more, you can grow more, you can have more. You can impact and make a change in other people's lives if you want to do that. You're capable of way more than you think. Because we as human beings, the only limit we really have is the limit we put in our own mind. I realized that time after time. And yes, our circumstances matter a little bit. And yes, the society and the people around us, it matters a little bit. But what matters more is your own decision towards making those things a little better every single day. I know this might sound like a motivational speak or me trying to inspire you to do all this crazy stuff right away now. And it's not really about that. It's just about me being honest with myself, first of all. And then second of all, being honest with you as a listener, because I really appreciate your time and your attention. The fact that you're sitting down or driving somewhere, or maybe you're on a run and you're listening to this because you're looking for something more, then at least I want to give you everything that I got, because you deserve that. Your time and attention is the most valuable asset you have. So please, don't waste your time just sitting around, listening to podcast after podcast, taking advice after advice, and not making any radical changes in your life. The only way that results change is through change of action. You can hear anything you want. You can educate yourself on anything you want. Learn anything you want. But if you only remember it in your mind and memorize something, and you think that you learned it because you know it, that's not really learning. Learning only occurs when action changes. So one of the best definition of learning that I've heard is same circumstance, new behavior. That means if I hold up my hand and I slap your face, I hold up my hand and I slap your face again, then maybe next time I hold up my hand, what are you going to do? Well, now you're not just going to stand there and let me slap your face. You're going to duck. Ah, what happened? A action changed, same circumstance. You still saw the hand that got raised, but now you actually realize that, hey, maybe I need to change my action. My course of action changes. Now you duck away. Aha, you just, per definition, learned. Same circumstance, new behavior. So now the question is, with all this new information, with what you just quote unquote learned, what changes are you going to make in your life that is actually you learning? Because if you're just going to sit around and think, oh, that was nice to hear, I really enjoyed listening to that, and then you're not going to make a change, fuck that. It's just a waste of time. Then you just listen to this podcast for no reason at all, just to end up saying, oh, you know what? I'm the same person that I was 50 minutes prior to this. And, nothing is really going to change in my life. Things are going to be the same. I'm going to be unhappy, and I'm not going to really enjoy my life to the maximum. I'm not going to make the greatest impact that I could. So what is it worth? Honest to God, value your time, your attention more than anything. Because what you put your attention towards, it's what's really going to change and make your life. You live the life that you focus on, not the life that you experience. Because the life that you focus on is what you see with your eyes. If you focus on opportunities, you will see opportunities and your life will become just drastically better. But if you focus on all the faults, all the mistakes, the past, anything that you can't change, that's what your life is going to consist of. Use this as not only a reminder, but maybe a stepping stone for you, like the first step towards changing your life for the better. I need these reminders for myself sometimes because I'm not completely satisfied and happy with both what I'm doing with my current circumstance, but also where I'm at right now. There are so many things that I'm extremely proud about that I really can look back on and say, I've done something incredible. But at the same time, my dreams keep on growing. I want to do more. I want to do better. I want to really leave an impact that's more than myself. And if I'm ever going to get there, if I'm ever going to build something that outlasts me and it's going to leave an impact on this world somehow, some way, then at least I got to start with myself. I got to look myself in the mirror, be honest, and ask myself, what are the things that I can really improve upon right now? What are the things that I'm bullshitting myself on right now that I need to make a change about? I'm not just saying this because I think you need to make changes. I'm saying it because I also think I need to make changes. And change is good. We get used to hearing so often that change is bad, it's good the way it was, the old time is usually the best time, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree. If you have an entrepreneurial mind, if you have a futuristic mind that likes to think about growth, that likes to think about like actual progress, then you need to just embrace it. Embrace it with everything you got to grow, get better, improve yourself. Yes, take pride in small moments, celebrate the victories, have fun on the journey and really enjoy it, embrace it. Because 100% it's about the journey, it's not just about getting somewhere. But I'm telling you, if you set clear goals, if you're honest with yourself in the process towards getting to where you want to get to, man, your life will just... You will be surprised at what you're capable of. Let me leave you with that. You will be surprised. And I also want to say that you can do anything that you want to. But in order to do anything you want to do, you need to know one thing, and that is what you want to do. Not what anyone else wants you to do, and not what you think someone else might want you to do with your life, but really dig deep and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want out of this one fucking life that you got? You only got one shot, so why not just go all in? Why not dig deep a bit? Sit with yourself and ask yourself what you really want. What is it that you really like? Where in life is it that you can really make an impact? And when you find the answer to that, then you just go. You just go and you don't stop. That's what the Nonstop Journey is about for me. It's a never-ending journey towards greatness, towards a fulfilled life, towards an impactful life. An impact on others while also enjoying my own life and embracing the journey and really just enjoying every part of it. The ups, the downs, the struggles, the joys, the prideful moments, the not so prideful moments, all of it. Because if you don't have the downs, the ups don't feel as good. Life is only so satisfying and interesting because we have contrasts. And the opposites of lives and the swings of a constant up and down and just a journey that really never has a clear answer of what's going to unfold. That's what's so interesting about life. You know, I said I'm going to leave you with one thing probably several times right now, but I get so into this. I'm going to leave you with this, and this is the last thing, that you're born with one certainty, and that is death. I know that might sound depressing to some, but to me, it's kind of motivating. It's inspiring. That's your only certainty. Anything else that you might take for granted right now, anything else that you just think, no, that's just the way it is, that's no certainty at all. So all the good things in your life, all the struggles, there's no certainty in that. So just embrace it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and make the most of it. Because one day you're gonna die. One day I'm gonna die. We're gonna be gone. And use that as a reminder to fuel yourself to really make the most out of this life. Because if you don't, you're gonna sit on your deathbed and you're gonna regret things. And I swear to God, the last thing that I want in my life is to sit on my deathbed and regret things that I didn't do, dreams that I didn't pursue, and knowing that I could have become a better person than I did. I want to max out my life. And I hope that you do as well.